Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, Breaking Boundaries. This is a podcast about our colleagues at Technip Energies who have stepped out of their comfort zone, faced challenges, and broken boundaries with their unconventional career paths. I am your host, Talumba Katawala, based in beautiful Mozambique. On today's episode, I am joined by Hugues De Premare, a 27-year-old naval architectural engineer from Technip Energies, France. He loves his job, but he also has another great love in his life, competitive sailing. I can't wait to learn just how he finds the time for a hobby as intensive as this one. Welcome, Hugues. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you. I'm very excited to be here today.
Yeah, so am I. I'm so intrigued with everything I've found out about you, so I cannot wait for this conversation. So you've started your career with Technip Energies in 2019 as a naval architecture engineer. How did you get this job, first of all?
It was really a life goal for me when I was young to become a naval architect. So I studied at Arts et Métiers to get an engineer degree. And in 2018, I got this first master in naval environment at École Navale. And I tried to get an internship at Technip Energies, but it didn't work. So I started another master in naval architecture at ENSTA in 2019. And I tried to get another internship at Technip Energies, and this time it worked. And we also had at ENSTA this employee from Technip, Cédric Marie, who came to present his job, what he's doing at Technip. And he talked about the travel he did for different projects and how he's working at Technip, and I really liked it.
So you heard someone else's experience and you said, this is exactly what I want to do. So
Yeah.
also, I mean, given what I've heard about you, I'm not surprised that the travel enticed you into this career. So what exactly does a naval architecture engineer do? And are you enjoying it? Are you happy about following that recruiter's journey?
Yeah. I really love my job so far, and I am working with this employee, Cédric Marie. Now we are in the same team almost, so
Nice.
that's fun. So what I'm doing as naval architect here at Technip Energies is not the same thing every day. So sometimes we are working during design phases on calculation. So we are performing I don't know, sometimes a stability calculation or seakeeping. And sometimes we are also involved on operation phases. So we can have the opportunity to go on the field, sometime offshore or onshore. And the last project I was involved in was Coral FLNG.
Wow.
And I had the opportunity to go in Mozambique and to go on board Coral offshore. So it was super cool.
Oh, that's amazing. So you came to my country.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
incredible. How did you get to see a bit of Mozambique?
Yeah. So I went 3 times in Maputo.
Lovely.
And it was so exciting. This country is so beautiful. The people are very welcoming, and yes, I enjoyed it.
Great. So, but tell me more about being offshore. What is the life like offshore for a naval architecture engineer? Because I know the Mozambican Sea, and I'm thinking about something tropical and nice and coconut water. Just kidding, but tell me more about the offshore life.
So it's not tropical water and sun on the beach. No, we are working a lot when we are offshore. So it is 12 hours a day and 7 days a week. So that's something.
Yeah.
But it's very exciting because you are working in a foreign country. You know, it's not a Paris routine. You can build a different relationship with your colleague, and I'm sure we have a stronger team spirit when we are working offshore. I think the biggest difference is your rhythm offshore. So You are working a lot, but you are winning extra holidays.
Nice. So that's where you do your sailing. That sounds like a good deal, right? Can you tell me more about this passion that you have, this passion, hobby, the sport that you do, sailing?
Yes, sure. So it is a strong passion for me. I started sailing with my father at the age of 5 or 6, and yeah, I liked it. So I also had the
At
opportunity.
6?
Yeah,
Wow.
but it was with my father. So
No, of course, but a 6 year,
I
I mean, I can imagine for your dad with the 6 year old on the sea. I'm sure you were excited, but must have been very thrilling for him to do it with his son.
yeah, and we also had the opportunity to participate in competition together. So
Right.
that was fun too. And I really like the competition. Sailing is a very complete sport. You have the physical part when you are doing maneuver, etc. You also have to think about sail streaming. What is your strategy? You also have to understand the weather. So it is very exciting, and this is also a passion which is bringing a lot of freedom. So, on board we have this kind of green energy management. So on my boat now I have solar panels and an hydro generator. So I can just leave the harbor and go anywhere I want. And the only limit I have is the food I bring and the water I bring with me. So it's
Wow.
freedom.
That's fantastic. And I know you're gearing up for something major, the mini transat, right? Can you tell us a bit more about this project?
Yeah, sure. So I started sailing in competition when I was 10, and after that I improved my skills in sail streaming, strategy, etc. And now I have a new, let's say, big project, which
Hmm.
is the mini transat. So I will cross the Atlantic in 2023 on my boat, and it is a very small boat. She's 6.5 meters long. And
Hmm.
it is so for this project, the Transat, it will be solo sailing and for sure in the competition.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I saw it on your website. Yeah, I saw, your sailing adventures and a bit of your story. It's incredible and it's absolutely fantastic that you have such a strong passion for sailing. And it's so important to have something that we're all very passionate about in life. I mean, of course, you spend a lot of the time offshore, but then when you're not working, you have something else that fulfills you.
Mm.
Your particular passion, though, it's quite unique to say the least. How do you get people to support you? Because it seems like a crazy idea to think of that you're planning to do something in 2023. We're barely even through 2022 and you already have big plans for 2023. How do you get support from your family, your peers, your friends?
With a crazy project like this, for sure, it is so important for me to have the support from the people I love. I have the support from my family for sure. So, for example, my brother, he loves taking picture, so he's helping me for my communication to have nice pictures and videos, etc. And my family is always trying to help me on the logistic point of view.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And I also have my friends' support, even if sometimes they're not really understanding what I'm doing, why I am spending so much money and time in a boat. And I also have the support from my colleagues here at Technip Energies. They were really enthusiastic when I presented this project. So in 2020, when I had the idea to compete in the Mini Transat, I came to my chief office with my huge schedule. Can I go sailing here, and here? What do you think? And he was very comprehensive. So that was.
Really? He didn't say no, you're fired.
No, I was so lucky.
And I hear that Technip Energies is also supporting you through the colleagues and etc. But also, can you tell us more about Technip Energies' involvement on this project?
Yes, so now I have the chance to have Technip Energies, let's say, on board as a sponsor.
Woohoo!
Um, so that's incredible. I had the opportunity to present my project to the XCOM.
Wow,
So I was so scared, and it was really challenging, but I did it. So I'm very
I
proud now.
bet. So I can imagine that, it was a pretty intimidating ordeal to go through, but it's great that you did it and succeeded at it because you have now the commitment and sponsorship not only from the company but from your colleagues, and obviously everyone is really rooting that you succeed, and we're sure that whatever comes out of it, it will be great either way. Um, so I think our management is always like open for great ideas like that, even for things like this project for the podcast. It's also the same concept. You build the idea, you pitch, they either approve or they don't, or they make some modifications, but it's definitely nerve-wracking to put yourself out there like that and at the risk of actually being rejected. So speaking of sponsorships, did you participate in any competitions in 2022?
Yeah, I did. To be qualified to the mini transat, you have to perform a qualification loop and to participate in several races. So that's what I did during the spring and the summer 2022. So first I performed this qualification loop, and it was quite challenging because it was the first time I was sailing offshore so long, so for 7 days. And I also participated in 5 races, and I won the second one, so that was
Yeah.
a good performance. And the following one was not so so good in terms of ranking, but I know I have some skills to improve as the weather understanding and other things. But in the end, I finished French vice champion for offshore sailing. So
Cool,
I
cool.
think it's a good season for me.
Oh yeah, for sure. But wow, you said 7 days. That's a long time to be in the sea. Eating, showering, sleeping on a boat for 7 days and 7 nights. How was
Yes,
that? How was that? Please tell me more. I need to know. What were you eating? How are you sleeping? What is happening?
yes, it is completely different from living here in Paris. Have your food, Uber Eats, your shower, etc.
Yeah.
And eating on the boat is quite challenging because you mainly eat dehydrated food. I think
Ugh.
the technical word is freeze-dried food. So it's
Oh
like
no.
a powder, and the powder is in a small bag, and you have to fill the bag with the boiling water without spreading this boiling water everywhere on your legs, etc. So eating is challenging. It's not champagne sailing what I'm doing. And yes, while I was sailing offshore, I also realized that sleeping 7 hours in a bed is a luxury. What I'm doing, it's racing. So when you're sleeping, you have to keep going, and you have to sleep when the boat is moving, and you can only sleep in 20-minute naps. So
That's not sleeping. That's torture.
yeah, that's not fun.
I'm pretty sure you have some sort of story, scary story about falling asleep on the boat by yourself.
Yes, I have one. It was during the third race of the past season. So I was sleeping close to the shore, but my autopilot was helming the boat, so everything was going well, except that we have two modes on the autopilot. The first one is to give to the autopilot a fixed heading, so the boat is going straight away. But the second mode is a wind mode, so the autopilot has to follow the wind. And during my nap, the wind backed a bit, so my boat heading changed, and I was going straight to the shore. I had rock around me, but I was sleeping. So I heard one of the competitors calling me, "Oh, Hugues, wake up! You are almost in the rock. Wake up, wake up!" And so I went outside, and also I saw all these rocks around me. It was so scary.
Oh gosh. And what did you do?
I just tried to find an exit and not to hit the rock.
Oh, oh my God. So no panic. You didn't cry and jump off or throw yourself off board. You just thought of a way out. Is this the way you picture all your races? And I mean, does it work that you just stay calm and face whatever challenge is coming ahead?
Yes, I think it is one of the key for performance. We have this guideline when we are sailing offshore, which is to try to have a very stable mindset. You really have to control your emotions, because if anything is going wrong, you can't panic. You just have to find a solution.
Whew, I can't imagine. I mean, let's say I can't imagine myself being on a boat by myself in the middle of the night or the day sleeping at all. But also, if I'm faced with something like that, that's as challenging as that, I don't know if I could keep a stable mindset. But that's a great way that you found to manage your stress and your emotion. And is that how you manage your work and sailing schedules? I mean, it's a very heavy duty hobby, and your life offshore is also cannot be that easy. It's long days, long hours. Is that how you manage your both of these lifestyles that you've chosen?
Yeah. I think it's important to know how to control your emotion even when you're working. For example, when you are working offshore, so you are tired because you're working 12 hours a day, and it's very easy to get upset.
Mm.
So if you can control those emotions, your relationships with your colleagues will be better for sure. And in terms of project or schedule management, I also have this kind of mantra, which is when you want to climb a mountain, don't look at the
Mhm.
peak, just look at the next step, and it helps to move forward.
Definitely, definitely. Well said, well said. But also now that you've made this correlation between the two lives that you live, I'm wondering what other skills do you take away from sailing into your job and your personal life and vice versa?
So the project I am preparing now is solo sailing, but I also used to sail with a crew. So I learned to work with other people in stressful conditions. So I think this part helps to work in a team.
Mm.
Um, I also think that sailing offshore helps for decision making, because if you want to sail well, you always have to take new decision about where you are going, how you manage different weather scenarios, etc.
Mhm.
And for sure, there are some skills from Technip Energies I am using in my sailing project. For example, when I was working for Coral, we performed several studies about weather forecasting, and it helped me to understand the weather conditions. I also have some management skills I can use in my sailing project. And in our team, we are trying to perform some data analysis in our project, and it helped me a lot for my boat performance, because I am recording a lot of data when I'm sailing, and the data analysis helped me to improve my speed, for example. And I also believe that sailing helped me to adapt to any situation, because when you are sailing offshore, you can't modify the weather, etc. You can only adapt. It's a sea, so the only solution you have is to adapt and find a way to move.
Very useful skills indeed. You seem like you would be cool-headed and calm even under stress, but what is an area that tests you? How do you overcome your biggest challenges?
So I believe the most important part is to believe in what you are doing. And in terms of management, I have this kind of mantra for my sailing project, which is be prepared for the worst and hope for the best. I think it helps to move forward with confidence, because I'm trying to prepare my boat. I'm trying to prepare my boat for any problem. I'm bringing with me a lot of spare material, etc. Because when you are sailing offshore, you can't leave anything to chance. For example, for the last race I did from France to the Azores, um, I didn't check only one rope on the boat, and it broke after 2 days of racing. So
Yeah.
it is really something you have to keep in your mind. You can't leave anything to chance.
So now it's time for a signature question. Even though the answer to this one, I think it's quite obvious in your case. What is the biggest boundary you have broken in your life? Or let's say, what comfort zone have you stepped out of, personal or professional, and how has that impacted your life or the lives of others around you?
I think that yeah, the biggest decision I took was to buy this boat for my mini transat project.
Oh yeah.
So I just signed the order. I didn't have a bank behind me to to pay for this boat. So I just ordered this boat, and I knew I had so much things to do. Find a bank to finance this boat, find a sponsor for this project, and it changed my life. And I think when you are taking a big decision like this, the people around you are very important to push you forward, and their support are very important.
That's true. I didn't ask you, what's the name of your boat?
It is a Pickroad.
Okay. What's the story behind the Pequod?
It comes from the book, the Moby Dick Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the name of the boat from Captain Ahab. It is the main character in this story,
Right.
And I found it fun.
So I take it you read Moby Dick then. So okay, one question off the book. How do you manage your personal relationships? Because I can't, I mean, I cannot imagine that it would be easy to have a normal social life when you're an offshore engineer, but add that to more to it, which is sailing. Do you even have a social life, Hugues? I'm concerned. It seems like you spend a lot of time alone and in the sea.
So sometimes it is complicated to see my friends here in Paris. But I also met a new friend with this project in Brittany who
Right.
are as crazy as I am.
Do you also do normal 27-year-old stuff? Do you go to clubs, concerts?
I'm trying, but for the year 2022, it was not easy, because I had to work so hard to have my boat ready for those races, and to be competitive for those races, because I am not doing this project for fun. I really want to perform and have the best ranking.
Nice. So at this rate, I think you're going to have to marry a mermaid.
I didn't met one so far, but
No, okay.
do you have mermaid in Mozambique?
We have whales. We have lots of whales, you know?
Ah.
All right. Well, Hugues, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you. I know a little bit more about something I knew nothing about, sailing. It's incredible to see someone as young as you be so ambitious and so involved in your hobby and your passion, and also doing really well with your professional career. I want to give kudos to you for taking this, I want to say, huge risk into bonding your professional and personal life together and somehow making it work. I think it's truly an inspiration, because I think normally what we do is we try to keep our work and hobbies or personal lives very separate. And sometimes that's the challenge, is actually finding time to do your hobbies, and then eventually you give up because you can't. And you found a really good recipe to put those two things together. It's working for you. So thank you for giving us this new breath of fresh air into what our hobbies should be. We should find things that are correlated so that we never have to choose one or the other. It was really an immense pleasure to get to know you.
Thank you, Talumba. It was a pleasure.
Okay, thank you for listening today, everyone. In the future, we'll have more episodes with other inspiring people at Technip Energies and conversations on how they broke boundaries to become successful. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. See you on the next one.